one of the conditions of salah is that our clothes and our body has to be clean. What does that mean? Let's say if I'm cooking and I get food all over my clothes, so my clothes are really dirty, and then it's time to pray salah. Can I quickly just go and pray and then go back to cooking? Can I do that?
No.
Who thinks no? Put your hands up. Who thinks I can? Put your hands up. No one? What if you think you can?
No.
You can't. What if I told you you're all wrong? Would I be wrong? Would you guys be wrong?
Yeah,
I'd be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at the brackets, it says what he means by your clothes should be clean. Do you have one? Okay, you need to share. Okay. What he means by clothes should be clean, hands up for now. What he means by clothes should be clean is that they should not have any impurities on it. Am I cooking impurities?
No.
No. Yeah? Unless you're Safa, maybe you would be cooking impurities. But everyone else apart from her wouldn't be cooking impurities. Okay? So now, if the food goes on my clothes and it's completely dirty now, do I have any impurities on my clothes?
No.
No. So can I still pray salah in these dirty clothes?
Yeah.
Yes. Although it's not good, it's not a good thing to do. You know, you're standing in front of Allah. You should make sure your clothes are clean, perfect, because Allah's watching you. You should do that. But if you didn't, your salah would still count, isn't it? Your salah would still be done. Just very quickly, can you tell me an impurity, someone?
Pass.
Okay. Pass. What else?
Pig or dog sweat?
Pig or dog sweat? Okay. Generally, we won't have pig sweat on our clothes. Oh, what am I doing? Dog sweat.
Urine.
Urine.
Blood.
Blood. Which was flowing, yeah?
Stool.
Stool. Anything else? Okay. Vomit, which was a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah. So mouthful of vomit.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. Anything else? They're not impure. They're haram, but they're not impure as such. Anything else? Okay, so it's only if I have these things on my clothes, then my salah will not count. And what's the rule? How much of it do I need to have on my clothes so my salah won't count?
More than a 50p.
Yeah, 50p coin size or more. So if it's less than a 50p coin size, my salah will still count, isn't it? Although there'll be some sort of karah, it'll be makruh, but it will still count. Yeah.
Would a smell of, say, someone smoking nearby, and then the smell goes onto your clothes? Would that be
I'll take you next again.
like that?
Okay.
An impurity?
Is smoke an impurity?
No.
No. So if you have it in your clothes, will that affect your salah? No. So it's only impurities, isn't it? Although it's not good to, because you should present yourself in front of Allah, in nice clothes, smelling nice. That's why, the pious people of the past, when they used to perform tahajjud salah. Tahajjud salah is when you wake up in the middle of the night or the last part of the night, while everyone else is asleep, and you just performed optional prayers for Allah. So the pious people, they do is they wear the best clothes and they apply perfume as well. They're in the house, they're not going anywhere, but they apply perfume because they know they're standing in front of Allah. They're standing in front of Allah, wearing clean clothes, wearing their best clothes, smelling nice as well. So that's how we should do. But if we did, pray salah with, clothes that smell smoke, our salah will still technically count. Although it's not a good thing. Yes?
So what if you wet yourself and then it dried? When it dried, would you still be able to pray?
Okay, if it dries, does it disappear or does it just dry? It dries, isn't it? So do you still have urine in your clothes?
Yeah.
Yes. So your salah will not count. That 50p coin rule will still apply. Any other questions before we move on? Okay, so your clothes should not have any impurities. So your body and clothes. What if you have, let's say, half a 50p coin size impurity in your arm and half a 50p coin size impurity in your clothes? Would your salah count? Or is it okay because they're separate? Would it count?
It wouldn't count.
It won't count. So it's your entire clothes and body, whatever amount of impurity you have. You add that all up, and if that all makes the size of a 50p coin, your salah will not count. Does that make sense? Any questions? Yeah.
What if you didn't add it up correctly and then you thought it was less? Would your salah count? Or
No, it won't count.
But you didn't know.
Unless you, depends. It actually depends on the situation. If you tried your best and you thought, okay, no, the impurity of my clothes must be less than 50p coin, and you were very certain on that, you're certain on that. But let's say it turned out to be otherwise, but you were certain that, you know, your clothes did have less than impurity, you didn't know about it, then that's fine. But if there's a very high possibility that your clothes does have more than 50p coin, you're just being lazy, you just convince yourself, no, it probably doesn't have it, then that would be your fault, isn't it? Because you knew there was a very high chance that there's going to be a lot of impurity in your clothes. Does that make sense? So it depends on the particular situation.
Okay, so what if like you're out and about and you have one of those and like you didn't bring any clothes with you, would you? And it was salah time, and if by the time you got home it would be like a totally different salah and it was way past you could do qada, so what would you do?
So what you do is, first, good question, if it's possible, clean it. Let's say, okay, first possibility is, if it's salah time, see if you can take that piece of clothing off for salah or not. Let's say you have a jacket and you have impurity in your jacket. Now, do you need to pray salah wearing a jacket? No, so you can just take that clothing off and then pray salah. Just one, I'm going through all those scenarios. So one scenario is that you can actually take that clothing off and then pray salah. Or even, let's say if it's not a jacket, let's say if it's a t-shirt that has it, but you're wearing a jacket on top. Take your t-shirt off, let's say go to the bathroom, take the t-shirt off, and then put the jacket back on and everything else, and put the t-shirt somewhere else in your bag or something, and pray salah. So whatever clothing that has the impurity, just take it off. First scenario. Second scenario, let's say you cannot take it off. In that scenario we do, see if you can wash it or not. So let's say someone over here, or someone, let's say they're in class. And anyone have a urine problem? Anyone wet themselves all the time? So I can use you as an example? No. Okay. Anyway, I'm joking. Let's say someone's sitting in class and they're bursting to go to the toilet, yeah? And they're just holding it in, and afterwards a bit of urine comes out, okay? And then they're like, okay, I need to go to the toilet. I need to do wudu. I don't need to go to the toilet, I just need to do wudu. Okay, so they go upstairs, and what they do is, and we're about to start salah, for example. We're going to start salah, and now they have urine on their clothes. So what they can actually do is take that piece of clothing off and wash it underneath the taps. So you wash it, rinse the water out. You have to wash it 3 times for it to be pure. We'll learn about that afterwards, if we haven't. So you wash it, you rinse it out, you wash it, you rinse it out, you wash it, rinse it out. Make sure all the water is rinsed out, and just put the clothing back on. And then do wudu, and then come back downstairs and pretend nothing happened. So now when you do salah, will your salah count now? Yeah, so your salah will count and you just join in with everyone else. Does that make sense? So that's the second scenario, you just wash it if it's possible. If you know in someone's house, go to if there's public bathrooms available in a shopping centre, wherever, you can do the same thing as well. Third scenario is you can't wash it either because there's no taps, or you're in public place and you're going to just take off your clothes in public and start washing or something. Okay? So there what you do is, and if you go home you're going to miss the salah, just pray with that impurity in your clothes. Just pray with it on, because that's all you can do right now. And then when you come home, just repeat that salah. So you're not going to be sinful for missing that salah because you prayed the technical, haven't you, to the best of your ability. So you pray that salah, and when you come home, repeat it. Because your salah technically didn't count because you had impurities on it, isn't it? But you've done your job in terms of trying to pray your salah. So Allah won't punish you. Does that make sense? Answer your question?
Yeah. Okay,
so let's move on. So make sure your clothes and your body does not have any impurities on it. Number 5, make sure the place is clean. So let's say there was coffee spilled, someone spilled coffee all over this mug yesterday. And hypothetical situation, not that actually happened. Someone spilled coffee over the mug, and I didn't wash it, and it's left it there. And today it started smelling, and it's time for salah, and I just prayed on the salah. Prayed on this mat. Will my salah count?
Yes.
Who thinks no? Who thinks yes, it will count? What do you say yes?
Because it's not an impurity.
Because it's not an impurity. Is coffee an impurity?
No.
No. Yeah, so it's dirty, and it's going to start smelling because of milk in it as well, and it's going to go out of date. It's going to be quite nasty. But is it an impurity?
No.
No. So will my salah still count?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay? My salah will still count. Although it's disgusting, but it will still count. Any questions on that? So 3 things need to be free from impurity. Body, clothes, and place. Miraj, can you repeat that?
If body pearls in place.
Yes, needs to be free from what?
Impurities.
Impurities. Okay. Any questions before we move on? Okay, number 6. Tafsir, can you read it?
Face the Qibla.
Yeah, what's the Qibla?
Face like direct.
Yes, well done. That's it. Qibla, who knew that? You knew that?
Direction.
Okay, well done. Qibla literally means direction. But here, when we say face the Qibla, that's like taking the meaning of you face towards the Kaaba, because everyone knows what the direction, the direction of Salah is the Kaaba. So the word Qibla literally means direction. So when we say face the Qibla, technically it doesn't make sense, face the direction. But because we know what we mean by Qibla is the direction of the Kaaba, that's why it makes sense now. So Qibla literally means Kaaba, yeah.
What if you're like traveling and you can't face the Qibla?
Okay, good question, and that's what we're going to come on to now. Let's say you're traveling, and okay, let's start off with this. Okay, you're traveling and you don't know which way the Qibla is. What do you do? Can you just guess?
No.
Does any one of you carry a compass with them?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yes, phone. Yeah, so you don't really need those compasses anymore. Yeah, unless you're like survival mode. You have like pen knives and everything with you. You know them things that you press and there's knives and screwdrivers and everything come up? Swiss Army knives. Unless you're in survival mode, then you probably won't have a proper compass with you. Okay, so what you do is, let's say you're in a situation and you do not know where the Qibla is. If you just guess and pray in a random direction, your Salah will most likely not count. There's a procedure that you have to go through. Let's say you're in an open field and you don't know which way the Qibla is. First thing, how can you find out which way the Qibla is? Okay, let's say you're at my house and...
Ask somebody.
Yeah, ask someone. Okay, let's say you're at my house and you don't know which way your Salah time, you need to pray Salah. And you start getting your compass out and you start looking at the sun and drawing all the time, all these maths equations. Why don't you ask the person that's there, do you know which direction the Qibla is in? Yeah, that would make more sense, isn't it? Yeah? First thing you should try and do, if there's someone you can ask them, do you know the direction of the Qibla? Let's say you're at a shopping centre and you need to pray Salah, time for Salah, so you can't miss Salah because of shopping. So let's say there's a Muslim shopping shop there. You just ask, because he works there, he most likely will know which direction the Qibla is at. You can ask him, do you know which direction the Qibla is at? And he'll tell you. If there's no one to ask, then what you can do is you can go to a compass. Or if it's easier, go to a compass first, and then if the compass you don't know it, you can ask someone. So step 1 and 2 is ask someone. Number 2, compass. So number 1, you ask someone. Number 2, you use a compass. So what you go to your compass on your phone, you find north. Normally you have to go to 0 degrees or something, isn't it? Yeah, so you go to 0 degrees, and then once you get to 0 degrees, it will point towards north. And once you find north, then you just go to southeast on the compass. And that is the direction of the Qibla. Another way to determine the direction of the Qibla is the satellite dishes. They all point towards the Qibla. Satellite dishes on people's houses, all of them, they all point towards the Qibla for some reason. I think someone told me it's the center of the earth or something, possibly.
Really?
Yeah, so they all point towards the Qibla. Okay, next situation. Let's say you're at a field and you didn't have a compass, you couldn't ask someone, so you just started praying Salah. Yeah? You started praying Salah. And then, halfway through Salah, someone came and told you, so you're in Salah, by the way, your Qibla's this way. So what do? Do you break your Salah and then face that way? Do you just turn while you're in Salah? So what do you do? What?
You would break your Salah and then pray it again, but in that direction. And then
Okay.
I also have a question.
Okay, well, I'll come to your question afterwards. Let's just deal with this. Okay, that's one possibility. Any other possibilities? Anyone think something else? Okay, go on, Mary.
You could finish praying, then pray again, but facing the Qibla.
Okay, so you think it's better to finish praying because it's not good to just break your Salah and then pray again in the right direction. Okay, anyone think anything else?
If they just said to you, isn't that, and you're paying attention to it, isn't that kind of breaking your Salah anyway, so you can just face it?
We'll go into the things that break our Salah later, but no, that doesn't break your Salah. Just someone talking to you doesn't break your Salah. It's if you talk back to them, then breaks your Salah. Anyone think anything else? Okay, the rule here is, let's say I'm praying salah this way, yeah? I'm praying salah this way. And then someone, halfway through my salah, someone tells me, so let's say I couldn't ask someone, I couldn't have a compass, I didn't have a compass, and there's no way to determine which direction the Qibla is. The rule for me is, since I don't know, I can pray any direction I think is the Qibla. Does that make sense? So I don't know, there's no way for me to find out. I can't determine due to the position of the sun. I just pray any direction. My salah is fine. So if I finish my entire salah, I pray my entire salah, and then let's say after I finish my salah, someone comes and tells me, by the way, Qibla was that way. Do I need to repeat my salah? No. Because at that moment, I didn't know which way the Qibla was it. So I done whatever's my responsibility, and I just prayed whichever direction I could. So if someone after me finishing salah comes and tells me, by the way, Qibla was in a different direction, I do not have to repeat my salah. Does that make sense? Okay, that's the first scenario. Second scenario is, halfway through my salah, someone comes and tells me, so Qibla is a different direction. So when I started my salah, was my salah fine to start with?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, isn't it? So it's fine. Now that someone's told me in the third rakat, for example, that Qibla is that way, can I continue praying in the wrong direction on purpose? No, because now I know, isn't it now? Because someone's told me. What I'll have to do, so I can't continue with my salah, because I'll be praying in the wrong direction on purpose, which isn't good. I'll just turn in my salah. So let's say I'm praying that way. Wherever I am, straight away I'll just have to turn. Like that, and just continue praying that way. Even let's say you're in ruku over here. Yeah, you're in ruku. Someone tells you, in ruku you just turn. Like that. Because, let's say if you stood up and you said, Sami Allahu liman hamida, and then you turned, you've just done one whole position of salah in the wrong direction, haven't you? On purpose. So what you have to do is, exactly where you are, you just turn towards the Qibla. Even if you're in sujood. Let's say you're in sujood and you're in that way, someone tells me, by the way, Qibla's that way, turn in your sujood. Like a beetle or something. Yeah? But that's what you have to do. So, and you will not have to repeat your salah again. If you don't turn straight away and you continue praying salah, you'll have to repeat your salah afterwards. Because now you just completed positions in salah in the wrong direction on purpose. Okay, so let's move on. So this is the Qibla. So Qibla, by the way, what does the word Qibla mean? Direction. And to what do we pray when we pray salah? Kaaba. Who built the Kaaba? Ibrahim alayhi salam. With his son? What's his son's name? Ismail. The first person to build the Kaaba, by the way, was Adam alayhi salam. And then got destroyed in the flood. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam rebuilt the Kaaba in that same position where Adam alayhi salam had originally built it. And then it was expand. Yeah. No, the Kaaba was built, I think, about 4 times in history. The 5 times? Okay, something like that, yeah.
We wrote it in our books.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on now. Face the Qibla. Number 7, pray in the correct time. What does that mean? Yep.
And I took it some of work and then to be extra pray during the time.
Yeah. And we're gonna have a whole lesson on this one. The timings of salah, the position of the sun for each salah. We need to have that lesson. Okay, so basically just every salah has its own prayer time, isn't it? So the start time and the finish time to every salah. So you need to pray within that time. So for example, okay, what's the first salah which starts? Fajr. Fajr start. Anyone know when Fajr starts? What's the name?
Would it be like around 5, 6? Oh, yes, dawn.
Dawn, yes. So Fajr starts at dawn. And then what time does Fajr end? Anyone? Sunrise. Okay, so let's say there's about 3-4 hours in between. So you have 4 hours to make sure you pray your Fajr Salah. What time does Dhuhr time start?
Midday. Wait, noon.
Midday. Okay, so then you have this gap in between. There is no Fard Salah in that time, is there? Yeah? And then what happens is Asr time starts. So when Dhuhr time ends, so Dhuhr time starts here. Dhuhr time starts here. Dhuhr start and Dhuhr end. Everyone should know this already, isn't it? So when Dhuhr time ends, what salah time starts? Asr. Start. And when Asr time ends, Maghrib starts. And when Maghrib ends, what starts? Isha starts. What time does Isha end?
Midnight.
Okay, so you have until midnight, 12 a.m. to pray Isha Salah. Is that correct?
No.
What's the correct time?
Isn't it until Fajr starts?
Yes, until Fajr the next day. So you've got the entire night until dawn the next day to make sure you pray your Isha Salah. Does that make sense? So that when one Salah time ends, the next one starts. With the exception of Fajr, when the Fajr time ends, there is no fourth Salah in between. And then Dhuhr time starts. But the rest of the Salahs, when one ends, the other one starts. Yes, sir.
Do you still have done it, or?
Okay, normally the normal rule is, if you, let's say you miss the Dhuhr and it's Dhuhr time, and that's the Asr time, you just come home. Now, the rule is you've actually missed the Dhuhr prayer, haven't you? Now but you still have to do the Salah that you've missed. You can't just leave it out. But then it becomes what you call Qada. Qada is when you make up a missed prayer. So you'll be sinful for missing it, but you still have to make up for it in whenever you can. Okay, so pray in the correct time. And then make an intention. So the last one, make an intention. How do you make an intention for Salah? Everyone, you haven't said anything. How do you make an intention for Salah? Yeah, how do you do that?
Say it in your head.
Okay, intention is literally knowing what you're doing. You don't even need to say anything. As long as you know what you're doing, that is what you call an intention. So let's say I'm praying let's say it's Isha time, Isha Salah. And I just say Allahu Akbar without thinking about anything, without thinking in my head, I, such and such person, I'm praying my fourth fard of Isha Salah today. You don't need to think about all that stuff. All you need to do is know what you're praying. Yeah.
I heard that if you're going to do a qada, you need to say that and you need to know what day you missed it and stuff.
Okay, I'll answer your question after I explain this. Because the qada is slightly different, yeah.
Huzur used to make us say, Nawaitu Masalli Allah Ta'ala.
It's baseless. It's nonsense.
Alright.
It's nonsense. I still, my teachers when I was young, they made us memorize the intention in Arabic. نويت أن أصلي لله تعالى 4 ركعات صلاة الظهر متوجها اقتديت بهذا الإمام متوجها. It's nonsense. Okay. So intention is just knowing what salah you're praying, and that is enough of an intention. So if Isha time is fard prayer, as long as you know that you're praying your fard prayer, then that's enough as an intention. Does that make sense? Okay. For example, and let's say once I was in madrasa, and after Maghrib salah I went to sleep. So I prayed my Maghrib. I was really tired, so I lied down for about half an hour, 1 hour or something. And I heard normally when the imam's praying, they have a microphone and you can hear it on the corridors everywhere when the imam's reciting. So when I heard that, I woke up and I thought it was Fajr time, because obviously normally when you wake up in the morning, you slept the whole night and it's Fajr time. So I thought it was Fajr time, and I see everyone else going to the masjid as well. So I just quickly ran downstairs, done wudu, and I joined into the salah, thinking it was Fajr time. Yeah. So I joined into the imam like everyone, joined in with the salah just like everyone else. So I said Allahu Akbar. There's other people starting with me as well. So I got on time. So I done 1 rakat with the imam, 2nd rakat with the imam. He sits down for tashahhud, and after tashahhud he gets up for his 3rd rakat. Now I'm just confused. Like, what's going on? He's praying 3 rakats Fajr Salah, but he was praying Isha Salah, is Isha time. So then he prayed his 3rd rakat, his 4th rakat, and then he says Salam, and then it's finished and everyone's just walking away. And I'm thinking, why isn't anyone saying anything? He's prayed 4 rakats Fajr prayer, it's supposed to be 2 rakats. Then I checked the time and I realized, oh no, it's Isha time. I didn't sleep the whole night. I slept, just an hour. So, my Salah, is that, do I need to read my Isha Salah again, or is that okay?
No, it's not.
Pray again.
I need to pray it again. Why? Because my intention was wrong, isn't it? I made an intention. I thought I was doing the Fajr prayer. but in reality I was actually doing the Isha prayer, isn't it? So my intention was wrong. So all that I prayed salah just like everyone else, but my intention was wrong, hence my salah will not count. Does that make sense? And when it comes to nafil prayers and sunnah prayers, you just need to make, and you do not you do not need to make an intention of how many rakats prayer you're doing. So you don't need to think to yourself, I'm doing 4 rakats of Isha salah. All you need to know is I'm praying the fard of Isha, I'm praying the fard of Dhuhr, or I'm praying the sunnats of Dhuhr, I'm praying the sunnats of Isha. Does that make sense? So you don't need to make an intention of the number of rakats. You just need to know what you're doing. Okay, and then we had the question about the qada. The rule of the qada is, yes, you need to be very particular of which. So let's say you haven't prayed, you missed salah for a year, you didn't pray salah for a year. And when you do your qada prayers, you need to be very particular about which qada salah you're praying right now. So if you just said, I'm praying a Dhuhr qada salah, and you prayed it, that will not count as a qada salah. You need to be very specific on which qada salah that you're doing, of what day. But the easiest way to, many people they make you write down different dates, and then, okay, this is the Dhuhr of that date, the Dhuhr of that date, which is nonsense. What you do is, the way to specify which salah you're doing, you make intention, I'm praying the last Dhuhr salah which I missed. Is that specific? Yeah, so if you do that, then your qada intention will count and your salah will count. So you actually don't need to note down dates or anything like that. Just, I am doing qada of the last Dhuhr salah I missed, or the last Isha salah I missed. Yeah, that's fine.
I thought you said that if you've missed more salahs than 5 or something, then you don't have to make it up.
Oh, okay, sorry. What I meant with that is if it's due to being unconscious or something like that. So then, yeah, but not if you just missed it and it's just your fault. It's only when you're unconscious and you had no idea what's going on. Only in that situation, yeah.
If you miss more than 5 salahs and you are conscious, then doesn't that mean like you're not a Muslim?
That's a bit harsh. Let's say one day you're feeling lazy and you do praying salahs the next day, and then you try to go to the mosque and the imam stops you. Get out of here. I didn't see you yesterday the whole day. No, that's not the case. Although you have done a very big sin, a major sin for missing the salah, but you'll still be a Muslim. Any questions before we move on? Everyone understood all the 8 conditions of salah? Yep.
Then how many prayers do you need to miss before you're not a Muslim?
Is that what you're trying to achieve?
Missing prayers does not make you a non-Muslim. You'll still be a Muslim as long as you understand that you have to pray. Understanding that much will still make you a Muslim. Only if you think that I don't have to pray anymore. Allah doesn't need my worship, why should I pray to Him? Only when you start thinking like that, then you're not a Muslim anymore. But if you know you're supposed to pray but you don't because you're lazy, you're still a Muslim but just a weak Muslim. Yeah? I'll take hand next.
What if you weren't a Muslim but you prayed? Would that make you a Muslim?
No. You need to believe in the Shahadatain.
Yeah.
There's one God and the Prophet ﷺ is His messenger.